Welcome back to Season 6 of the Changing Earth podcast with author Sara F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. We are happy to have you back with us today. Hey, Chen, what's up?
Hey, chin's up.
So this is episode number 212, season 6, episode 12. So what's going on over in Chinland? Chinland.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We went out of town this weekend.
The East Coast, yeah.
Driving. I went from I found them all. I just hopscotched between thunderstorms. I get like a break for like 2 miles and then downpour again.
Yeah, I told you I'm all jealous because
I wish I could send some your way.
we had no rain. It's okay, but yeah, we got a wildfire close by today, and so let the games begin. In other words, so right. So yeah, another thing I'm jealous. You were installing some appliances. Got a dishwasher out there.
Yeah. So we're at the family's cabin, and they like, there's no dishwasher here, and I'm like, just give me a Sawzall.
Okay.
That.
So there was no dishwasher. The dishwasher wasn't hooked up in the living room, right?
Oh no, there was
okay.
An oven.
I thought from the way you texted over that like whoever had it before like hooked the dishwasher up in the living room. I'm like, who the hell puts a dishwasher in the living room?
No,
I saw some crazy stuff in houses when we were looking in Texas, so I was like, well, maybe.
everything they've been getting this stuff off of Craigslist, so it's so funny. It's been sitting in the living room for like months.
Got you. That makes a lot more sense now. I feel a lot better about that now.
Just give me a Sawzall. I'll put that right in there for you.
Yeah, we had to do that.
I've done this before. We when my wife and I first got married, we bought an old fixer-upper.
Mm-hmm.
And like right after we moved in, I was in there with crowbars and Sawzalls and making it happen.
Yeah, that's why all your neighbors just rely on you.
I got all the tools now. I mean, after you're a homeowner for so long, you just start collecting all the tools.
It's true. Yeah, we had to do the same thing at our little house, and then the one up here broke, and we were like, well, whatever. If the house is for sale and it sells, then they can deal with it, you know. So we're still waiting to see kind of what happens with the house. So
yeah.
So that's just constant.
You could choose your own dishwasher.
Yeah, exactly.
Spin it.
Yep. It doesn't appear broken. It seems like it runs. So we're just not saying anything unless they listen to my podcast. I'm in the clear. So, well, I've been working on a ton of projects. I was hemming and hawing over whether I should release today or not, but I think I'm going to wait one more week so everybody gets the hold on just one more week. That's okay. You're going to love it. Love it when you hear about it. And then we've been working on the next book, Hope on the Horizon. And you and my other beta listeners.
The beta boys.
Yeah, the beta boys have had some creative tips for me, which, yeah.
No, I got a good one. It should be.
Yeah.
It is so. It should be.
We can breach that next season. Hopefully you'll forget by then. I can just move on. So, yeah, that's cool. I'm looking probably I'm thinking I'm done recording the audio and you guys have to listen. Well, I have to edit it and you guys have to listen to the final chapters. And then I have to format it for print and ebook. Print usually is the one that is a little bugger. But so I'm thinking September for a release date on that one. I think I can do it all by then. It's going to be tough though. So probably I'm going to shoot for the beginning of September, maybe mid-September, but I think I'm going to be good. So everybody, Hope on the Horizon, that's book number 7.
What's September? Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor Day.
Yeah, I think. That's the end. That's the one at the end of the summer. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and the boys are going back to school soon, man.
Woohoo!
Yep, the big one's going to college, and little man's back to second grade. The big second grader.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's always fun. It'll be cool to have them doing something during the day. Alrighty, so let's get into last week. Last week we went with Dexter, and Dexter discovered that Erica was pretty close, but he developed this really bad infection. And so we had Nicole on to talk about first aid creams, and that was just a great show.
She's awesome.
Yeah, if you guys haven't gone over and check out the survival guide, the episode, the notes that I did for that one are spectacular. You'll love it. So just go over there, and you don't have to worry about taking notes. You can just grab them right there, and some really good information. So I really enjoyed picking her brain.
You did too.
Yeah. Because it's just I'm really passionate about that topic. So every time you learn more and more, then you're like, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? So
Got some good slug recipes.
Yeah. Oh, go nuts. Oh my gosh. Oh no. We had a lot of frogs around this year. Maybe I'd go with the frog legs instead.
I've had frog legs. Have you had them?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
bad.
they really do taste like chicken and squirrel. I mean,
I've not had squirrel.
really a similar. You haven't had squirrel?
Yeah, I've had escargot. I've had snail.
Yeah.
It's all like done up
Yeah, I
with
have.
butter and stuff. It's not that bad.
Chewy. I like mussels better. I'm spoiled. So this week we're going to catch back up with Erica, and it's after the night of torture that she endured at Swenson's hands. So it's right after that, and where we're joining back in with her. The next.
I love to hate.
Yep, your favorite guy. So without any further ado, let's welcome Chin's favorite man back to the show. All right, guys, let's get into chapter 12 of The Endless Night.
Chapter 12. The morning of September 18th. Erica awoke on the cold, hard floor. She could barely move as the endless pain surged through her body. The stiffness from the night intensified the feeling. She stood up slowly, wrapping herself in the blanket to keep off the chill. Heading over to the toilet, she relieved herself and flushed. As she stared at the water, her head spun with pain. She vomited from its overwhelming effects. Looking at the precious nutrients in the toilet, she almost ate her own puke, but she couldn't do it. She pulled down on the handle and watched it swirl down the hole. She turned towards the door, listening to the locking mechanism. "How we feeling?" Swenson asked, opening the door. Erica glared at him fiercely. "Not talking this morning?" he asked. "I gotta say, you put on one hell of a show for the boys last night." He laughed in amusement at the previous night's events, while Erica stared even harder, envisioning her hands wrapped around his neck. "Here," he said, throwing a black button-up shirt at her. "Turn your ass around before you put it on, and stop looking at me like that." She stood solid and unyielding. His hand went to his whip. "You want to test me, girlie? How many more do you think you could take?" he wondered. She knew it wasn't very many, and turned around reluctantly. "That's a good girl," he said, admiring his work. "Oh, man, that looks painful," he chided her. "Guess you shouldn't have tried to run yesterday." Erica was confused by his statement, but in no mood to question it. "Put on the shirt," he demanded. The cotton was heavy and rubbed on her back, but it was thick and warm. Stepping up behind her, he breathed in her ear. "Give me your hands." Erica slowly put them back, fearing the pain that would come with the movement. He grabbed her arms violently and yanked them back, causing Erica to double over in pain, gagging. Chuckling to himself, he pulled her back upright by her wrist and clasped them with cuffs. As she stood waiting for his next move, she felt the metal of the shackles tightening around her ankles. "Come on," he told her, walking her outside of the room. She hesitated in the living room, expecting him to chain her to the wall again. Nope, today you go to your new home, he told her, leading her outside. It was cold, and the sun barely cast light down. Laudner was waiting for him. You all set, TJ? Let's load her up, Swenson replied. Good riddance, Laudner commented. Swenson smiled at his words as he put Erica into the back of the black SUV. He climbed into the seat next to her as Laudner took the driver's seat. She'll be back before you know it, Laudner. You can't keep an animal this wild caged without a proper zookeeper. She'll run. Mark my words, Swenson insisted. Erica listened to their words, keeping her head straight. Her eyes, however, rapidly scanned the environment, taking note of their location. This time they passed the train station and continued around the city. With the dark of the day, Erica could barely see as Swenson covered her head with the burlap sack. The vehicle drove on and on, continuing around the city. They slowed and Erica heard a gate open. Inching forward, they drove through the wall. When they finally stopped, Swenson took her out of the vehicle and led her through another gate. On the backside of the Supreme General's mansion, there was a doorway. Swenson unlocked the door and entered. Once inside, he navigated a labyrinth of tunnels. Along the way, Erica tried to calm her mind and remember the exact number of steps she took to reach each turn so she could find her way back if needed. They emerged in the Supreme General's mansion. Swenson led her through the home to the western wing. I'm going to be leaving you here for a while. I know you'll miss me, but you better play nice for the Supreme General. He's counting on you to do your job. Don't worry, I'll be back for you as soon as he's done with you, Swenson told her. He led her down the hallway as he spoke. Erica followed rapidly behind him to ensure the chain didn't pull at her body. Hopefully they'll take this chain off, she cursed it in her mind. Her heart sank as they entered a room with a chain hanging in the middle of it. Looking up, she noticed some type of a track system that ran along the ceiling. Come with me, Swenson said, pulling her along. He removed the chain around her neck and hooked the new one to it. There we go, he said when he was done. Welcome to your new home. He approached her and swung her around so he could press his body against her wounds and breathe down her neck. Erica closed her eyes, loathing the feeling of joy he felt from her pain. Don't worry, I'll be back, he told her, kissing her neck passionately. Her skin crawled at his touch. Then he undid her shackles and cuffs and left without another word. She prayed that would be the last time she would see him. Rubbing her wrist, she assessed the new room. There was a shower by her toilet. The chain slid on the ceiling as she moved. The metal track housed another piece of metal that slid on ball bearings, so she could reach everything without the chain pulling on her. She noticed a blouse with fresh black slacks and a clean pair of underwear with a bra on the bed. As she surveyed the situation, the door opened. Erica stood in fear, expecting it to be Swenson. Hello, a man said as he entered. My name is Sergeant Jefferson, and I'm in charge of your care. Hello, Sergeant Jefferson, Erica said, elated to see someone else. Are the fresh clothes to your liking, he asked. I guess so, Erica replied, unsure what to say. Why don't you take a moment to freshen up? The Supreme General will be joining you for lunch, Sergeant Jefferson told her. Okay, she replied slowly. Sergeant Jefferson left, and she started the water running in the shower. The water invigorated her soul as she used the sweet-smelling soaps on her hair and body. It was the calmest moment she'd enjoyed since she was first captured. The soothing water and the privacy of the moment was priceless. When she was done, she dried off with a fluffy towel and put on fresh clothes. They were silky smooth and hung lightly on her body, barely irritating the fresh whip marks. Sergeant Jefferson opened the door again. If you're ready, the Supreme General will see you now. I'm ready, Erica replied. Please come with me, he requested. Looking up, she noticed that the bar continued down the hallway and into 2 other rooms. When she stepped out the door, the chain pulled to the end of the line, where it picked up a new track to continue into the hallway. Sergeant Jefferson stepped behind her and helped guide it so it pulled at her even less. Nice, Erica thought, as Jefferson stepped around her and opened the door to another room for her. A cozy dining room awaited her when she entered. Jefferson put the chain into the next track and followed her in the door. Please have a seat, he told her, pulling out a chair with 2 chains connected to the floor on either side of the chair. She sat down and he cuffed her to the chains. There was just enough slack in them for her hands to reach her face. She sat waiting until she saw the Supreme General's guards enter. "Erica, how nice it is to have you here," he said as he entered. "Is the room acceptable?" She sat there quietly, not knowing how to respond. "Be honest," he told her. "It would be a lot more comfortable without this chain around my neck, Supreme General, sir," she told him. He chuckled at her response. "You'll have plenty of opportunity to gain my trust, and we can talk about it then." "Thank you, Supreme General, sir," she replied politely. "I see TJ has been teaching you some manners. He told me you attempted an escape again, and he was forced to punish you for it," he explained. "Not a smart move. All actions have consequences." Erica's blood boiled. That's how he justified the new marks. She cursed him. "Let's make sure that doesn't happen here," he told her. "Yes, Supreme General, sir," she said. He looked at her. "I think I'm going to like you," he attested. "I hope so, Supreme General, sir." She played along, happy to have someone look at her without hatred in their eyes. Erica could smell the food coming down the hallway. He saw her cue into it. "Thought maybe you could use some protein," he told her as the chef brought in 2 plates. He put the plate down in front of Erica. There was a salad and baked potato. The steak was already cut into bite-sized pieces. "Sorry for the lack of utensils, but it's that trust issue again," he told her. "That's okay, Supreme General, sir," she said, picking up the food with her hands and devouring everything on the plate. He slowly ate, watching her carefully. Then he cut up the steak that was left on his plate and replaced her plate with his. "Still hungry?" he asked. "Thank you, Supreme General, sir," she said, going to work on the new plate. She sat back when it was gone. Her belly hurt. It was so full. "I brought something to show you," he told her. She was curious as a soldier produced an envelope. He took photos out of it and started placing them in front of her one by one. The first one was a picture of Daniel, lying in a pool of blood. "Oh my God," she whispered, looking at the photo and touching the boy in the image. The second picture was Dexter, in the same position. Tears ran down her face as he showed her a picture of Bennett and then Star. "She could have brought good money. It's a shame," the Supreme General commented. Then he showed her a picture of Vince, dead on the street where Erica had been taken from him. "Your family is gone. Your husband is gone. Looks like you're available for marriage," he told her. Erica's heart shriveled in misery. She tried to hide the emotions. "To who, Supreme General, sir?" she asked, praying the answer was not Swenson. "To me," he told her. She looked at him shocked. "Don't be so surprised. We have an opportunity to unite the whole country back under one rule. My rule. Then we focus on expansion," he told her. "With you enamoring the masses and me leading the charge, we would be unstoppable." Erica couldn't believe what she was hearing. All she wanted to do was crawl into a little ball and cry forever. But she played along, thinking of Swenson's words. "He'll grow tired of you, and then you're mine." She couldn't take the chance that the Supreme General would send her back to him. "Sounds like a fine opportunity, Supreme General, sir," she said, praying she could find an escape route before then. He smiled widely at her. "Great! Then it's settled. In 2 months' time, we shall be married. Pour us a glass of champagne, Jefferson. The engagement is official," he elated. The Supreme General held his glass up to toast with Erica. She touched her glass to his and drank the contents in one gulp. Jefferson poured her another. "I'm sorry to have to run out on you, honey," he said. The word honey stuck in her like a knife. "But that's the life of the leader of the country. I'll see you again for dinner," he assured her, leaving hastily. Erica stared at the pictures on the table, slowly flipping through them as she drank the champagne. "They're gone," she despaired. "Live together, die together," she thought. "I'll find a way to join you, Vince." "Would you like another?" Jefferson asked softly as Erica's tears dripped into the glass. "Keep them coming," she told him, shrinking in misery. The alcohol numbed the pain in her body, but the pain in her heart was unquenchable. Jefferson unchained her hands once the table was cleared and escorted her back to her room. He closed the door, leaving her in silence. Erica flung herself onto the soft bed. She curled up in the blankets and cried until she thought she would throw up. Steadying herself, she couldn't maintain her calm. She cried again and again, remembering each of their beautiful faces. She fell into a deep sleep in the comfort of the bed. The Supreme General arrived to have dinner with her. Opening her door, he stood over her, watching her sleep. He stayed for a long time before he went and had dinner alone. Erica was here, and he was content with that, for now.
Well, kind of a new twist of depression for Erica.
Oh no, happy. New
Happy.
house, making some new friends. That's good
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. So
How's
the
she
photos,
got a proposal?
I have a hard time even reading that for the audiobook without crying at that part. And even though it's not true, even though, you
Yeah, the
right?
pictures.
The pictures. Yeah.
The pictures. That's like psych torture. It's just horrible.
Yeah. At its finest right there.
Mhm. Yep.
So, and then the other thing that I kind of picked out going like scrubbing back through my book as I do is that TJ's escapade with Erica kind of set her up real nicely for the Supreme General. She doesn't want to not comply with him because she doesn't want to go back to
Go
TJ.
back. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So,
interesting how she was talking about, how she wanted to at least seem friendly with the guy.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That she's like,
I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. The other guy, her like handler now. at the house.
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Jefferson
Making new
is a
friends.
cool twist later, maybe in the series. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm now reading. I'm like, oh. So stay tuned for that one. Just building a little extra suspense. Damn authors.
Have to go another car ride with Ellen.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah, she's coming back this coming year. I'm excited. So I can't wait to see her again. Like,
Talk about a fun episode.
oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then now we can do all of us. That'll be sweet. So all right, and then the marriage proposal. So
Yeah, see? What a great episode.
right?
House.
Celebration time.
Yeah, bring out the champagne.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I guess it would work like in that situation. I could see it from his side too. So if you're going to be an asshole, like, why not marry the chick who everybody believes in? Then you're all set. So
Kind of like ancient, like, I don't know, like old, like
the arranged marriages and stuff.
like the kings. Yeah.
Yeah.
What it kind of reminded me of.
Yeah. Reaching back for that one.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's just crazy. But like I say, I really wanted to bring everybody into the central region so we could start opening up that can of worms. And here we are. We're there. This is what
Yes,
life is like. And at least she has like her private area, at his house, like her chain slides on the easy little track, right?
The Jefferson helps it along, so it's not like yanking on her.
Right? Yeah, my husband totally helped me engineer that idea because he's like, wait, it wouldn't work if you did it this way and that way. He's like, you have to have a track with the system and have to hook up on another one. I'm like, dude.
Good
So,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah. So that to bring it realistic.
He should get
She's
paid
got a
extra for that one. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, life doesn't get much better than that, right? Food, shower, clothes, husband. Yeah, buddy. So one of the things that I wrote in on purpose into this chapter, let's get down to business, is the whole way there, Erica is memorizing the route. She's being very, yeah, exactly. Counting the exact number of footsteps she took to turn, and, it's something that, so I wasn't always in the best environments as a teenager. And, whenever you're riding along with somebody that you don't know, I did a lot of hitchhiking and stuff like that too. And so whenever you're in that situation where you're basically at whoever's driving's mercy, you need to be aware of where you're actually going so you can find your way back if you needed to. And that's why I wrote that in there. But we came up with a great topic for today, and it's basically, you know, situational awareness while you're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that idea. So that was a good suggestion there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think whoever came up with that idea,
We're pretty smart dude.
Bonus this episode.
Yeah. He's going to get some flowers on Secretary Day.
You got to pay to get the extras for that one.
Yeah, exactly. So see the bonus audio. So,
Gosh. If that doesn't get some of the listeners scratching their heads.
Right. I don't know what would. So nowadays, I agree with you. Our navigational apps are just really destroying our sense of direction and navigation.
It's like I can't remember a phone number anymore because they're all stored in the phone.
Yep.
And now you can't remember how to get any place anymore.
Exactly. That's so bad. Like,
Yep.
And not only that, but like we're actually losing the ability to look at a map and read a map without it, like with a little line on it telling us where we're supposed to go, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And then compasses on top of that, like,
Land nav, yeah.
yeah. So it's all really important in my book. And I think that we need to do some practice in there. I know I do. I need to get out and do some orienteering.
Over in Europe, they just had last month. They're coming up with a new GPS satellite system.
Mhm.
And, it was down like over a week, I think. So, I mean, so that you could be on vacation and it can go down.
And you're not aware of where you are anymore? Big
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're going like a couple states away.
And we rely so heavily on them
Yeah.
that, like, even if there was an EMP or something like that, all those satellites go down, you know,
But there was nothing. It was just I didn't read up on the whole. It was in Europe.
on why it
Didn't
happened.
affect
Yeah.
ours here, but yeah. So I mean, there was no. It was some glitch. I don't know. It's a new startup system.
Yeah. And then even some of the younger drivers just like driving down the road and knowing how the addresses work on the buildings, like whether you're going up or down, the
mile
odds and
markers,
evens.
yeah, the mile markers on the side of the road.
Yep. Well, and the physical addresses, like on the buildings, how they go down in order or up in order, and your odds are on one side, evens are on the other side. Like,
Yeah.
hello, they're like, what? Oh, GPS goes ding, you're here.
Turn left.
That's when you know you're there. That's
Your
like,
destination is on the left.
oh golly. So yeah.
I think I've said this before, but I remember back in the day, taking out before you went on a road trip, taking out a pad of paper and a map and marking down this many miles, turn left.
Yep.
This many miles, turn right.
And you had to use the
Start
ruler.
going to the building, counting your steps.
Yeah, you had to do the ruler and like scale it even. Yep.
Well, it's with some maps. If you look at again, reading maps, some of the road maps, they actually have a little number in between, like interstates, in between exits. There's a little number.
Yep.
And that's the miles between exits. So you can actually add up the miles.
Oh, got you. And they have like that graph usually where it's like
Yeah,
from
for the scale.
point to point or whatever too. So those things are pretty cool. I know. Like, what, you got your map out there, Indiana Jones? Like,
My fedora or whatever the hat is he wears.
oh, and I can tell you stories about hiking and GPS that,
Yeah.
oh, right after my knee surgery, I was on a adventure I probably shouldn't have been on. And my survival instructor had led us all the way out there. And on the way back, it was all dark and everything. And he's like, okay, you guys get to lead the way back. And I had memorized everything on the way out there. I knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this one dude's like, oh, we'll use my GPS. I'm like, no, I got, right? And he's like, oh, no, we'll follow the GPS. So everybody starts following him.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing we know, we're climbing over these huge boulders and through blackberry bushes and all this stuff. My knee's just screaming at me. I'm still all braced up and everything, trying to get along. I'm like, I am going to kill you and your GPS, dude. Where is your sense of awareness, like, at all?
isn't going to see the sunshine for a while.
Oh, yeah. I was so pissed. I'm like, give me that GPS. Like, boom. There you go.
Yep, that's it.
GPS
Over-reliance on GPS, it dulls your common senses.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And like I'm saying, so a lot of people use Uber, or, if you're hitchhiking, if you're using Lyft, you should always be aware of where you're going, even if they're driving, I mean, all people are not.
Like, the sun, and which direction are you headed?
Yeah, exactly. Well, my next point is that people will blindly follow the GPS and not even use their common sense. And I'm totally guilty of this myself. I had just got back from vacation. I think that when we were in Denver, and I didn't want to use the highways out there. So I turned off the highways on my GPS.
Oh, yeah.
And I was driving down to Roseville, which is a town, down the 80 from my house. And it kept taking me off the 80. I'm going back and forth across the highway. Like, I'm going to be late now. I'm like, what the heck is going on with my GPS?
Oh, I checked that button.
Right? Yeah. All I had to do was look before I left where I was actually going. And I knew where I was going, but I didn't do that. I just relied on my GPS. And because of that setting, it had me all this way and that way. And I'm just driving. Okay, it says turn left. Okay, it turns right. I'm like, you freaking moron. So, so sit down first and look at where you're going.
Yeah.
Now, get an understanding. Even if you are going to pay attention to the machine, get an understanding of it first. So
It's actually nice now because you can actually alter the routes.
Yeah.
So if you want it, you can drag the little route indicator around to different. So that's kind of nice. I don't know. I don't think we could always do that.
I don't think so, but it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And for us going to Texas, we don't want to travel through California, so we always have to reroute, through Nevada. So
where do you live?
What?
Where do you live?
In California. We don't want to travel through California.
Travel there.
No, dude, you got to go south. You got to go to Southern California. Oh, so dirty. And the gas is so expensive and the traffic. Oh, no. Just going to Nevada. You can drive
That's the only place I've ever been in California was San Diego.
Ugh.
For 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's yucky. It's yucky down there.
We're going to Vegas, and the flight, there was a delay. There was a 6-hour delay. So we quick ran around and changed flights. So we flew into San Diego and drove into Vegas because it was quicker than waiting for the next flight to.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go through needles and all that when you're driving.
That was the only time I've ever been in California.
Yeah.
Enough to land and get to the car.
To go to Nevada.
Get the heck out.
Yeah, good. Good, smart move. But we were talking about that. We're like, well, California will never let the North go. So what if we took our counties and just made them part of Nevada instead? Then we wouldn't have to be part of California anymore. And we wouldn't have to secede from and become our own state. We could just take our counties over to Nevada instead.
So?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, right?
Right.
Exactly.
I'm
all for it. Yeah, my friend's like, yeah, any state that makes their money off of prostitution and gambling is all right with me. I'm like, come on, dude.
Friends you hang out with.
Yeah, that was at martial arts even. So, off of the squirrel. So, knowing navigation.
If you're listening, you have nice friends. I want anybody knocking on my door trying to beat me up.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They're coming there. They're coming.
Where's this chin guy?
Yep. We're coming for you, man.
My name's Bob.
I do martial arts with Hathaway.
I got a hat.
Yeah. So, in any emergency situation, knowing your navigation is pretty much essential. I mean, you got to know where the heck you're going and where the heck, the danger is and how you can go a different way than where the danger is. So, it's to get familiar with your tools again is very, very important. And, so the one thing that you had said was try an old school GPS free road trip.
Yep.
And it's funny because we actually did that. We went down when we went to Texas one time. We just grabbed our State Farm, Atlas map, right? And we're headed down there. And we went through down into New Mexico and into Roswell and over. So it was a new route even. And we did just fine. I've been through many road trips with just a map.
Yep.
So the only thing that sucked is that like we would have rerouted ourselves around Dallas. And I can't remember if we turned on the GPS to get around that city or not, because it's just such a cluster F down there. Mm-hmm. Dallas is just like a nightmare. So if you can go around it, that's ideal.
Yeah, it's good to. Everybody should carry paper maps and atlases.
Yep.
I've got both. Like the 2-state or 3-state maps around where I am, and then
Yep. Well, I
cool.
study the heck out of them for writing my books,
mm-hmm.
and then the topo maps too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because
yeah,
I can't be like, oh, they're here in the United States, and then it's like, well, or like some of the flooding scenarios and stuff. You have to
be like there's a lake, there's an ocean in the middle of the country.
Yeah, right? You just can't go creating the ocean in the middle of the country. We're a donut. I told you.
I'm a writer. I write.
I write. That's what I do. It just comes to me. Yep, we're a donut. But Nevada used to be like all underwater. It did.
Well, I think there's a lot of people underwater in Nevada. Too much time in the casinos.
Probably.
Financially.
It's true.
Squirrel.
Alrighty. So when we're on the road, being situationally aware is key to preventing accidents. So cell phones, of course.
Crazy people out there.
Yeah, there are. They're everywhere.
Give crazy its space.
Yeah, for sure. Like it could just be some old person who's, trying the best they can, or it could be some drunken idiot, but if you see somebody or driving erratically, just give them their space. And
I hope I don't upset anybody in the listening audience, but I tell you, minivans, I give those the most. There's some crazy minivan drivers, at least in my neck of the woods.
Uh-huh.
They think they're driving a Ferrari, and it's a minivan. They are just nuts.
Because they're yelling at the kids in the back. They can't get there fast enough. Yeah. So even before we had cell phones, though, like, you get thinking about something. And it's the route you always travel. So you're not like paying as sharp attention as you should. You should be constantly scanning the areas around your vehicle. And
did you see the squirrel? Did you see the stats that I sent about road rage?
Yeah, I was gonna get into those. Yeah, I was gonna talk about the drills first.
Okay.
Brian Duff, he does a lot of situational awareness training and hit in the OODA loop. And he gave me a cool exercise, when you're driving down the street, he's like, just count all the blue cars. Just every time you go out, count the blue cars. How many blue cars did you see, right?
They call them blueberries.
Blueberries.
And they hold a close second to minivans.
Right?
Blue cars are crazy too.
So count the blue cars. They're easy to pick out. And then like when you get used to counting how many blue cars there are on your road trip or whatever, then start looking at like how many people were inside of them.
Yep.
And what's going on with the drivers and stuff like that. So, and then, remember that number when you get home. So it's a little bit of brain training as you go. Yeah. So there's a lot of times I come home and I'm like, oh, I saw 24 blue cars. And Brock's like, okay. But it is good practice. It's good practice to get you aware.
Yeah.
So one of the sites that you sent me, they had some more drills.
Yep.
And he was saying, so recognizing familiar cars that you often see on your commute.
And that's true. We do. See.
It is true.
Yep. The same crazy Dodge Ram pickup truck.
Every time?
Yeah. And he's crazy.
I notice a lot of times like people's stickers or like they have a personalized license plate. And I'm like, oh, I saw them yesterday, So I'm looking at that kind of stuff because I try to get myself to remember license plate numbers because if anything were to happen, usually that's what you need. And I suck at remembering stuff like that.
I would never remember license plate.
Right?
I'll remember. I'll describe the car. Trying to remember it.
Yep. So number 2, while observing other cars safely, notice the driver.
You said that several times.
Safely. Do this safely. What are they doing? What are they communicating with body language? How are they driving?
Yeah.
And this gentleman was saying that it takes you out of your bubble. So you start thinking about really what's going on around you instead of,
It's like what they say to do in a crowd too, or like at the mall or the movie.
Yeah.
You should pay
Notice
attention
the
to what's
people.
Yeah. Same thing
Look
with
them in
when
the
you're
eyes.
driving.
Yep. Yeah, my friend, this is kind of a squirrel story, but he's like, when we're camping and stuff, right? Well, I hate camping because I live on 40 acres and usually there's more people at the campgrounds than there are at my house, right?
Right.
So my friend's like, well, the people from the city, they're used to seeing people all the time. So they just kind of like drowned it out, right? As background noise.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when you have a fire, then you can't really see beyond the fire. So, it's just like they're not there and stuff like that. But for us, we don't see people like as often, basically. So when we are approaching people and stuff, we look them in the eyes. We're like, hey, what's going on? Because we're just not as inundated with mass crowds all the time. I'm like, that's a great point. Great point. So don't let the faces just drown out in your eyes. Like, notice people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then so randomly pick a car and start describing it like you would to somebody else. So it's the Dodge, right? It's the Dodge with the stripe and a
Dodge.
and a dent, and right?
Yeah.
I kind of like that one. I don't know if I'm gonna sit in my car and be talking out loud to myself. Although I sing all the time. So.
Although this would probably be better as a passenger than as a driver. If you're ever a passenger in the car, it'd be a good.
That's true. My husband would be like, "What are you doing now?"
Shut up and drive.
Babe, situational awareness.
That's right. Didn't you listen to episode 12?
Right? That's why I was just talking to somebody the other day. I'm like, oh, about the crazy line. Because everybody's like, oh, did you know what Google's doing? And they're getting in big trouble. And I'm like, oh, have you not watched the crazy line? At least go listen to my podcast episode then, please. Like, seriously. Okay. Get informed. All right. So the road rage stats. This was from the zebra.com/road rage statistics.
Yeah.
And I had to share the website because I'm going to pretty much share just some of the numbers straight off there. So this is from 2019, and it's just be aware of what is going on around you. I found it funny that only 18%. Well, okay, first you have to define what is road rage, right? So it's basically defined as a physical response to somebody else's driving. So it's not just like tailgating somebody or they're like ramming your car into them. People ram their car into each other. I don't care how pissed I am. I'm not ramming my car.
I don't want to damage my vehicle.
Right? Do you know how much that costs in insurance?
I don't know. How much?
A lot.
Wait, wrong hat, Sarah.
For like 6 years. Oh, yeah. Okay. Boop. Yeah, for years. I'm not even kidding. And that's if you don't have criminal charges on top of that. So, yeah, don't do that, people.
No.
So most people stir quietly. 45% responded they yell in their car. Yeah, I do that daily. 34.8 have honked. Well, maybe once a week I do that one. And 22% have made a rude gesture. So
that's a low number.
So we have to drive the canyon like every day. I got to drive it twice a day. And it's this little squirrely mountain road, And so people that drive slow versus people that drive a little bit more aggressively.
Slow.
So I'm like, cussing it up, this stupid person, get out of my way, da 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 da. And Christian was in the back of the car, and the lady pulls over at the turnout, and as we go by her, Christian looks out the window and is sticking his tongue out at the lady as we go by. I'm like, oh, dude, that was horrible. Yeah. And my mother-in-law got passed by a carload of nuns on that road. Yeah, a carload of nuns at the stop sign. They were like, "Brr." I'm like, were they flipping you off? She's like, no. I'm like, man, it would be cool if they were. So, all right. So most infuriating actions that you can do is cutting somebody off, tailgating, which I never do, and using a handheld device while driving. So I agree with all that.
How about going slow in the left-hand lane?
Right? Yeah. So the statistics were the millennials believe that the lane is for cruising, and the baby boomers believe that it's for passing. I'm still of the belief that it's for passing. It's only a passing lane in the left-hand lane. How does that work for you guys?
So I'm to believe that you have to at least be going faster than the right-hand lane to be in the left-hand lane.
Right.
So if you're cruising in the left-hand lane, it means you're going for a distance faster than the right-hand lane.
Right.
Then I don't have a problem. But if you're lead guy and you piled up a bunch of cars behind you,
man.
then you need to get your butt over and let the other people go, just
and they don't.
And let them go by you. And that's my biggest thing. I mean, I'm not a stickler for the cruising in the left lane, but I'm a stickler for you got to be going faster than the right-hand lane, and you can't be the parade leader.
Oh yeah, or like line right up to the next to the car that's like right next to you. Yeah, that's my favorite right there.
We were in the mountains. Talk about mountains. We were in the mountains, and I was driving my old pickup truck, and so you have to get a little running start. So you're going downhill, trying to get a running start to go up the next hill.
Yep.
And some fool in front of me slowed down.
Yeah.
And then nobody could pass them. And then it's like all the 18-wheelers, they had to slow. It totally messes you up if you can't get momentum.
It does. Because I have the same problem. Like if I'm running my air conditioner in my car just doesn't have the same pep.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody who's like braking around every corner uphill. You're like, dude, just keep a constant speed. Like, I don't care what your speed is, but keep it constant, right? So I can mimic behind you. Because when you have to stop and then speed up and then it just messes all up. Yeah, that's the joys of the canyon. But the canyon is good because it keeps all the city people away from our hill. So it's a good thing. And this is a total squirrel too, but we were coming back from Minnesota one time in a U-Haul that was diesel.
A?
What?
Don't they say A?
In Minnesota? Yeah. Sometimes they're more like Swedish. For sure. So we're coming back from Minnesota in this diesel, and it's just coughing, man. Just
yeah.
So we're like we're pulling my car behind it. We're like going down the hill as fast as we can, passing everybody in the left-hand lane in the U-Haul. And then we have to go up the next hill, right?
Yeah.
But this thing's just choking black smoke out everywhere. It's like everybody we just passed is now like just buried in the black smoke. They all pass us again. And then next downhill, we're like, woo!
Yeah.
Fletcher was like a year and a half old. He's like, yeah, in the middle. Oh, it's hilarious. Good times. Road trips.
Yep.
We finally made it to Nevada. And the dude comes out of the station. He's like, sounds like y'all are about to throw a rod. I'm like, oh, dude, don't say that. Because all the way, I'm like, Brock, is this how a diesel truck's supposed to sound? Like, I've never driven a diesel vehicle. He's like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. They wouldn't have rented it to us if it wasn't okay, And I'm like, all right. We're dumping oil into it, like 4 gallons of oil every stop or whatever. The little, not gallons, but the little liter things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy comes out. He's like, sounds like y'all are about to throw a rod. I'm like, just don't even say that. Let us just get over the mountains. All right, so, okay, enough squirrels. How to calm down. So listen to music. It's a great way to calm down. Of course, I listen to a lot of really fast music and
That doesn't really.
pump you up music. So yeah. So, call a family member or friend about your experience.
Vent.
Yeah. Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares.
It's still a quarter.
Oh, I don't even know. I haven't seen a payphone and I think last time actually it was like 50 cents. We did it as part of our survival training. So we had to have
title this episode "The Squirrel."
seriously. Okay. Okay, I'm not going off. And then or drive someplace remote and quiet. So I had to put a LOL by this one because like if you think like coming to the mountains is going to be relaxing, like people come, so they're like, oh, look, honey, there's no traffic. And they're the ones holding everybody else up, and we're all behind them, like, get the hell out of the way.
All the locals.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't go to the mountains and screw with the locals because you got pissed off. That's not going to be good. All right. So some of the stats that I really picked out was from 2006 to 2015, fatal road rage crashes went up 500%.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Get a grip, people.
That's people, yeah.
Right?
That's fatal road rage, yeah. That's road rage.
Fatal road rage crashes.
That's
like,
people not knowing how to deal with adversity.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, everybody gets a trophy. Well, guess what? You're going to have to deal with everybody else on the road, Suck it up, cupcake.
Yeah, this is not the simulator.
Yeah.
Computer game.
No. And you don't get another life either. Like it's not like reset. And in 2014, 247 incidents involved a gun.
Yeah.
And that increased to 620 incidents. Actually, I didn't think that was too big of an increase. So,
yeah,
yeah.
Those stats are the ones that keep me from letting too many birds loose when I'm driving.
Too many birds?
Flipping the bird. Yeah, kind of. Some of the gestures have been tamed down recently because is it really worth that to because people are freaking crazy. There was okay, so in the next town up, in a subdivision, not even on the highway, in a subdivision, there was a road rage and 18 shell casings. The cops counted 18 shell casings on the road.
Dang.
Somebody just unloaded.
Yeah, no, it's not worth that.
Yeah, it's just
we have people that like once they find
but don't. I mean, just think: is it really worth risking
somebody else's life? Are you going to look back in 80 years and be like, "Oh, that one time"?
If Crazy Sarah's driving by and I flip her off, and then Crazy Sarah goes like, "Oh, you didn't flip me off," and start right?
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my survival instructor even taught us, like, when you come up to the stop signs and stuff, don't get, sit behind. Have your vehicle sitting back a little bit.
Yeah, see the tire.
Yep, so that
always stop with enough distance that you can see their rear tire, the bottom of their rear tire. And that gives you enough to move if you had to get out of traffic.
Yeah, if they decided to turn around, with a firearm, that you could still be safe at that distance. So it looks kind of awkward sometimes, but
because you're not pinned in, so you could move your car. You could turn the wheel and get out of there.
Yeah. So that he had us practice a lot with stuff like that and just being aware of who's in there. So a lot of that training tempers. If you are a little fireball, go figure out how to get rid of some of that stuff. That's what I do. So. It doesn't do any good to take it out on other people. Yeah, and I've done, I've had incidences. Like, I drove, from Las Vegas. I was driving, Mach 12 home the whole way. Brock's just, gripping the seat next to me, right? And when we finally got to back into California, we were at Donner. He's like, hey, babe, we're back in California. You can calm down. Just take us in nice and easy. Okay, so I'm coming in nice and easy. We get on Penobscot Road, and I'm driving nice and slow. And there's this guy behind me, like riding my butt on our road. And I'm like, what the freak? You know, I'm just like, dude, this guy's pissing me off. So I hit my brakes, right? So he almost hits me. So he goes flying out around me, slams his brakes in front of me. I had to swerve and go back around him. So I just threw him park. I jumped out. Brock's taking his glasses off at this point. He's like, oh no, what'd she get me into this time, you know? So we have this huge yelling match. This dude was going to like follow us home and stuff. So we had to go to our neighbors, and he came out with his shotgun. What's going on? And so obviously the dude left, but yeah, I was like, okay, so maybe I did go a little bit overboard. I was tired and irritated, and I should have just let it be and driven home, you know, and not been stupid. So, but that's me sometimes.
You're just doing a case study for another book, right?
Exactly. You know, I was testing his reaction to how it would be if I
How would a character react in that situation?
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, it's just dumb. That's what I've learned. So, if you can just relax and leave a little bit earlier, you know, try to leave a little bit earlier so you're not rushed. And that way you can stay clear of stupid people and not put yourself in danger. Alrighty. Let's see. So, I found this interesting too. So the states with the most road rage winners are Texas, Michigan, and Georgia.
Texas seems strange.
Right. Texas is a big state.
Yeah.
And they drive really fast. And then they get really pissed off about slow people.
No.
So yeah.
I've never been to Texas.
Yeah. They drive really fast. And then Michigan is just crazy. I don't know. That's where I grew up, so maybe that's how that happened. And Georgia. And then the kindest drivers are in Minnesota, Tennessee, Missouri, and Georgia. How can Georgia have the most range and the kindest drivers?
Georgia's paying them off.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
You
like
can't have both.
Exactly. You can't have your cake and eat it too, man. That's all I'm saying. They're really nice, except for when you piss them off.
Then
they go
really
aggro. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's how it was. I'm telling you. All right. Well, that's all I got for today. What about you? You got anything more?
No, you got a lot of them.
I liked this episode. I like this idea.
I did have one more. Like apps. If you know me, I gotta show some love for apps.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Apps like Waze. I find because they report like object in the road or that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I like that. I run with Waze on sometimes just to hear car on the side of the road or object.
They've been doing that on my Google one too.
Yeah, well, because Google bought Waze.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah. So
of course they did.
But that gives you time to like snap out of it and pay attention to what's. Then you're like, backing up a little, give more distance between me and the car in front of me, and scanning the road. Looking, it was like a tire tread that came off one of those semis. Was in the middle of the road, so you can like. Otherwise, you might not have had time to, well, you should.
Oh, I've been driving like 90 and hit a deer carcass on the highway. Yeah, that was some scary stuff right there. I thought I ripped the bottom of the car off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have.
I had a relative that ran over a tire. One of those de-treaded and punctured his gas tank.
Oh yeah. One of them blew up right in front of me when we were on the highway coming back from Texas one time. This because this person ran it over with their van, and then their car blew up right in front of me. That was a pucker moment. I mean, I'm like, oh! We made it though. Everything was fine. I brushed the windshield. That was it.
So I think that was the only thing that you covered all the little notes that I was thinking of. You pretty much had them all.
Yeah, like I said, I I was really excited about that episode. That was a good suggestion because
Yeah.
that's one that, situationally aware when you're walking around, stuff like that. And then people get in their car and they're like, oh, I'm in my safe zone.
Yeah, I got Google
Yep.
to the mall, and you're just driving around.
Bleep. Yep. So, no, I really liked that. Alrighty, well, we better get out of here then. I want to thank everybody for listening. You guys are just spectacular. I love hearing your feedback on Facebook or on Facebook. On Facebook.
Got
So
any
keep it
social
coming.
media?
Yeah, I'm not getting enough feedback nowadays. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing from you guys. So, and then to all my supporters, all the supporters of the show, you guys are rock stars, and thank you for doing what you do to keep us on the air. And thank you, Chin, for being my
Yes, ma'am.
co-host. I know.
Having fun.
Effort in, right? So you're like, oh, we're almost done. I'm like, we're not almost done. We still got another book after this.
Turn the page over.
You're in for the long haul, man. I can't find anybody else to do this with me every week. So, yeah. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Having fun.
All righty. Well, until next time, remember.
Thank you for joining Sara and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, Dark Days in Denver, and The Endless Night at www.authorSarahFHathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series and podcast, become a supporter while you're there. Then head over to iTunes or Amazon and let everyone know by leaving a review.